Hello and welcome. My name's OLLI43 and I'm joined here with a very, very special guest.
Hello, guys.
It's me, George, and actually this is quite cool because not only are we showing you some Planet Coaster, George and I went off to London to get some early hands-on this game, and we'll explain what's going on in the background in just a moment, but also he sat right next to me.
I am.
I could literally poke him.
And I wish you wouldn't.
Which is pretty cool. So it's like a bit of a unique video for the channel.
Normally all we do is we Skype each other and record it through that, but yeah, we thought we'd do it a little bit different this time.
So basically, just a bit of a backstory, just to let you guys know. George and I went to this event, and at the event we actually did a recording of both of us at the same time. Similar sort of setup to this, but we were actually playing, doing a live commentary. However, this morning we got back and the audio wasn't that great. So what we've decided to do is do like a post commentary and sort of talk through what was going on. Obviously there's lots going on the screen, and I promise we'll get onto that in a moment. This FYI was when I realized that they actually had already put George into the game, which I thought was brilliant.
I'm much better looking than that thing.
I don't know.
I'm at least half as good looking as that.
I think that thing kind of beats you, actually.
That's harsh.
That is harsh.
That's really harsh.
So the gameplay, what you're seeing, I'm actually playing right now. You can see there's like a pathway dividing our two halves, and the idea was, and you guys can get in the comment section and kind of let us know what you think, but I've got my side, and then through the commentary yesterday we were going to have me do my half and then George do his half whilst we're both talking. So this is currently what I'm doing. I'm placing some props in. I suppose first impressions, George. What do you think?
What of your half of the gameplay? Rubbish.
No, just just Planet Coaster in general. Like
Planet Coaster is a very, very interesting game. As someone who's grown up playing Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, it was a really good experience to see what they could come up with next.
I'll tell you what, it was really cool meeting the guys who had actually done Roller Coaster Tycoon 2.
Yeah, there was a few guys there.
It was really cool speaking to them.
Really in depth on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far it looks like a really, really great game. There's a lot of great ideas, especially in like the designing and building elements.
Oh, we saw some amazing creations from some of the art guys.
We did.
There was like this guy had made. I don't know if we'll get some B-roll footage. By the way, I'm like mucking around with trees, and I said to the guy, I want a tree brush. It might be coming in a up and coming Planet Coaster vlog thing. Potentially, but like I don't know. But I was messing around. I was trying to get some pirate theme going on just to explain what's going on in the background. But like we saw some amazing creations. Like one guy had he'd used the terrain tool to make like a tree, and it was like a massive tree, and he put lights all around it at night. I don't know if we'll have the footage to show you. We might have some B-roll footage in an up and coming video. I don't know, but just know that some of the stuff that art guys had done was just like.
I mean, it's insane how he'd actually figured out how to do it, because he hadn't, there's no wood tool. He can't just make a tree out of wood, so he raised the terrain to look like the outline of a massive tree,
like a trunk,
and then painted it using terrain brushes, and it was really awesome to just see what was capable of being done with the new tools.
Yeah.
And it's kind of even given me ideas. Actually, we should say that in this alpha that we're playing, there's no coaster builder, and there's no terrain tools, and there's no shops or anything like that.
I mean, there are. There is shops, but you have to build them into a wall.
Yeah, they're part of a building.
So you have to. George will actually show you. I do it also, but basically you have to make a building and then put a shop into it. It's quite cool because we've never seen anything like that in a park game where you have a shop in a building.
But it works really well. When you build up scenery around it, it looks incredible.
It does. And this is me doing the entrance and exits and things. So you have like a checklist on the top right hand side. So you have place an entrance, place an exit, then you do the queue, and then you do the ticket booth, which I kept forgetting to do. I wish it was kind of automatic, going from like you did the pathway and you finished it or whatever, and then it did the ticket booth or whatever.
Yeah,
that's automatic, but
kind of like it did in previous coaster games, but in this one they wanted to have a set point where the customers would have to hand over their money when, say, if it was like a carnival setup where they pay per ride, and so they decided to
like this is right here. So I've now drawn like the queue for the entrance, and I've kind of drawn it up to the thing, and I've kind of realised, I have to do a ticket booth.
I think I had to nudge you a little bit, just like, Ollie, you need a ticket booth.
Yeah. So, like, had I known this before, like I kind of got myself in a situation here where I kind of like was awkward with it, but it wasn't because the system was bad. It was just because I was doing it as if it was like a different game, so I was playing it wrong, basically.
Yeah.
I feel like it was just me and my learning curve of the game. But actually, it kind of worked out because I think what I did is I
put like a little scenery object in that little gap. I can't
remember what I placed there. Was it like a tree or
No, it was a ship. Or broken ship.
Oh, yeah. Man, you got a good memory. Yeah, and that's another thing. So the controls are all pretty simple. So you have your WASD to move around. You have your Q and E to rotate the camera. You have Z to rotate objects. You can hold Z and rotate it finely, I believe.
Yeah, you can. You can also set angle snaps if you want.
Which you can see in the bottom right-hand corner. So, yeah, I was trying to, like... I mean, this is really like it. I felt so much pressure because not only did we have like the developers all around us, but we were trying to do a commentary, and we were like, this was the first time we played the game. So if you're looking at this and going, this is kind of like not that great, although I don't think it's too bad.
I think your part worked out really well.
But it's it's a first try, and I was just like you can see me fumbling around things and all that stuff. So. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do now is start placing some shops and a building.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool. But I was really like sad and kind of that there's no coaster.
Yeah, we weren't expecting when we went up there. We thought it was essentially going to be the whole game, just slightly unpolished.
There seems to be lots of scenery, lots of what you have access to. There's lots of that. Like I would expect like 3 rides, 4 scenery things and a coaster builder. But what they've done is, speaking to the developers, the reason why they've done it is because they want feedback on just scenery and like placing generic rides or quote unquote generic rides. So yeah, I mean, I like this, by the way. This was it automatically connects the path.
Yeah,
I really like
it.
That.
Kind of assists you with slightly with the path builder when you've got like a building or like an entrance close to it.
Mm-hmm.
Although you can, I think there is a way of kind of ignoring that and making your own path if you want to.
Yeah. So this is me trying to build a wall, and this was quite fiddly. And I started off with this blue thing here, which I don't know why I selected the blue thing. There was perfectly good. I think
you went
did
to
half
brick
and
later,
half.
yeah.
But this is what I was kind of talking about before. How the shops we have in the alpha so far, you kind of build into a building.
Yeah, they don't look that great if they're just freestanding. You can see that
they actually don't look too bad.
They don't look too bad, but they all look kind of the same.
Yeah.
Like all the shops just have a slightly different like back. You see one's red, blue, and yellow. That's the only kind of way of telling them apart. But if you build them into the building, you can like put scenery signs. You can put like a little handwritten sign or something above saying which shop it is.
But I think this looks really cool. Like the
and
I love the detail inside of the shop. I think that's the first time we've seen a game that has like. Usually you just get like a character that I think in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 there was just like a person stood there and it's always the same. But these are all quite unique.
I don't know what you did here with this thing.
I was just experimenting. Like this was the point where I was just like kind of panicking a little bit. Like I need to do stuff because we only had a certain amount of time before I had to pass it over to George. But yeah, like, what am I doing?
I think we should explain actually that blue square you keep seeing on the floor. That's basically when you start building, you can see in the top right corner it says editing building 2. I don't know where your building 1 was, but it basically means that anything you build within that blue square is classed as the same building, and when you're done, you can select the whole thing and move the whole thing in one piece.
Yeah.
So it's a lot better.
And also. You say that because people were saying in previous games like, oh, it's really easy to build on a grid. Like it's really easy to build on a grid, but you can't be that creative with a grid. So what they've done is wherever you place the first object is where the grid goes from that first object. So if you wanted it slightly offset, but from that offset you wanted everything to be sort of lined up and sort of spot on, then you could technically do that. And this was my last attempt at.
I think this is
finishing the scenery. I've got one ride to put in.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah,
I do have another ride. Some of the rides actually are really cool. Like this sundial one was really cool. This one was like huge. So there's some like really, from what we can see so far, some really cool stuff.
And when I start mine, I show you another couple of rides as well. But I go into more of the building stuff, so I try and build like a little castle as well. which I thought was quite a cool idea. I didn't get to do that much of it because I kind of felt pushed for time. But I thought I had a really good go at it, and even in like the 5 minutes we had, Ollie's been doing this for 5-10 minutes, and look how much he's done and how actually professional it looks. Like you wouldn't mind walking into Thorpe Park or Six Flags or something like that and seeing this kind of scenery.
Yeah, this is again, like, this was obviously my Achilles heel of Planet Coaster. I was just like, I think it was just a learning curve, honestly. Like, it might look fiddly, but I think that's because I'm making it look fiddly. I don't actually think it, like, do you feel like the connecting rides up was...
I thought it would take a little bit to get used to.
Yeah, because it is different than anything else roller coaster theme park thing.
I mean, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, I keep using it as an example, but it's the closest thing we have to kind of compare it to. It was just all 90-degree angles with the paths. So to have something where you can angle it in literally any degree is completely different to what we're used to. It just took a little while to kind of get used to the mechanics of it.
Yeah.
But I think once this, like you said, this is the first time we played it. This literally is the first time.
Like, we went into this venue, hadn't seen anyone else play it. Well, we had like a 20-minute crash course from I can't remember his name.
It's a producer.
And we were like, okay, this is how you do that, this is how you do that, this is how you do that. And we were like, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then literally just chucked straight in.
We were recording as well. So not only are we trying to remember what you said, but also we're trying to be entertaining at the same time. So it was like,
It was cool though.
It was fun. I really enjoyed my time playing with it.
But we picked it up pretty quickly. I mean, if we could spend another half an hour on it, we'd probably get it down.
And the terrain tool as well.
The terrain tool looks really cool. I was really sad that it wasn't in the alpha, but it will be coming.
What I will say is the time we had, I'm kind of glad there wasn't a coaster builder and a terrain
there
tool,
would have been too much to show.
Because we would have probably missed this, which is probably like where you'll spend most of your time. Like, you'll do a little bit of time in the coasters and a little bit of time, but like fiddling around with paths, stalls and generic rides is probably like quite a big chunk of the game that we would have probably ignored had it been in the alpha. But all right, so this is where you take the reins.
I do,
and this is so I'm gonna let you talk and do your spiel on what your plans were.
Well, my thought was to sabotage Ollie. I thought I wanted a few rides, obviously, but I didn't want to spend too much time fiddling around with them. Even though I was like fiddling around with this one, but I wanted to build a building using the scenery props and create something really awesome, like spectacular, that people could look at and go, wow. Because apparently the scenery does have quite a big impact on the customers.
Yeah, we forgot to say, really, like, the scenery is actually worth spending time on, because if you have good scenery and stuff, it's going to make people happy, and then they're going to spend more money at like concession stands.
They actually said they spent quite a lot of time on the economics and things,
which I was really excited about. Yeah, because they hadn't talked in like all their promo stuff and trailers. They have never sort of mentioned the business side of it, or management side. It was all design, creative, which is nice. But like, for me, it's a simulation game, a strategy game, as well as.
I think it's based on a relatively simple system of happy customers spend money, and money allows you to build better things. Better things bring more people into the park, and it's just a cycle.
Yeah, cycle.
So, but it's a lot more off that.
Sorry to interrupt, but you absolutely you didn't struggle with that at all. Like, that's obviously what you should do. Like, build it and then connect the path up to it afterwards. Whereas I had a path and then I tried to like fit it in. So like, you made that look so much easier than when I did it. Like, earlier I just fumbled for it.
Well, I had the advantage of kind of watching you do it as well.
Yeah.
Because when the producer did it, he kind of knew exactly what he was doing, so we couldn't kind of learn from his mistakes. So when Ollie kind of mucked up, I was able to learn from it a little bit.
It's cool. There's quite a few paths and queues as well, actually.
I was a little bit annoyed that it kind of got dark.
Yeah, I've honestly felt a little bit guilty because you had to build your park in the dark, whereas I had the gift of light.
Luckily, loads of the rides light up and everything, and it does get light towards the end.
We actually had a play. We haven't got any gameplay of it, but we kind of went off after we finished recording and did like an interview with them. we were playing around with the little lights and just building a little park, and we like did some really cool stuff where we had like a thing that span round, and I put lights all around it, and that like the lighting effects look really good, don't they?
Yeah.
Even at night. I mean, it's kind of dark, but it's not.
I mean, this is kind of my sabotage idea. I wanted to put some signs down and like advertise. This is the way to the best bit of the park.
You were luring in my guests. I felt like traders. Like if I had a roller coaster. Oh, you know what we should? If we had a roller coaster, we should have like gone both sides. That would have been cool.
Yeah, I wish we could have built a roller coaster, but I do think it would have just taken up a bit too much time doing that and everything else.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth kind of focusing just on these bits for now. And
I feel like we should say, most people are probably aware, but this is just an alpha. So this is, I don't know how many alphas they're going to do, or whether they're going to do an alpha and then a beta and then full release. But like at the moment, this is just pre-alpha. Like we were playing on a pre-alpha build, and
I mean it's smooth.
Yeah.
There were a few bugs, obviously, as you'd expect from any alpha, but
yeah,
nothing that kind of shouted out.
A few alpha charms, like
a few alpha charms.
Yeah,
yeah, but nothing that you would would shout to you that there was a problem.
Yes, I mean, did you ever play Roller Coaster Tycoon World?
I did a little bit, but I only had it on a laptop, which I really struggled with because you have to have a mouse to make it work. I'd actually not. That's one thing I didn't ask, whether you can play this on a laptop without a mouse if you can do it on a trackpad.
I imagine you could, but like Roller Coaster Tycoon World, the alpha felt like an alpha, like in the traditional game development stage, where it was like there were bugs, and like that's fine. But this felt like more of a beta, like it was really fleshed out, and it felt like really polished, and it didn't feel like there was a few things that needed like tweaking, but it was really nice actually giving feedback to the developers who'd been in this like closed group of thoughts and ideas and assumptions. And then when we gave feedback, like what was it he asked us? What would you like to zoom in?
Oh yeah, you like asked us like
what would you use to zoom in, and we were like, you said plus or minus, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think I said plus or minus, or like I don't know, some other key. But like it was nice to give like some raw feedback, and they obviously were listening and interested in what we had to say. But your castle's come along pretty good.
Yeah, I felt kind of rushed doing it, so there's a few unpolished edges. But what I want to do is like make a floor as well, which I would imagine you'd be able to just either use paths or like paint on. But I wanted to like put some shops inside it, put a few like animatronics and things like that on it. But
you did actually do that.
I did manage to do a little bit of it. Yeah, that was kind of a last minute thing at the end I'd managed to do.
No, I mean like when we were off camera later on, you built like a building and you had shops, and then you even put a roof on.
Oh yeah, I did.
So you can do it.
Yeah, I did it later on. Shame we can't show you it, but yeah, that actually looked really cool. Everything kind of fitted together perfectly, and it just kind of worked all together. But at the end of this, I put like some working cannons on the side of the building.
Yeah.
You'll see it in a minute, and I think it gets light just as I do that. In fact, you can see the sunrise in the back now. And can I just say, it's a beautiful game.
Yep.
Like, the art style is fantastic.
I love it. I love especially the characters as well, like the little people walking around. Like
it's all very charming.
They look like groups of people. You know, in like old school roller coaster games, they were like all individuals. They kind of look like groups, and they're all very unique. And yeah, I totally agree with you that the art style is like really nice. But yes, it's getting light now, so you can see.
Yeah, you can actually see what I've done. But yeah, look, how's that for a good start to a castle?
It is.
I mean, I've done that in 5 minutes.
If you think about it, if we did have the terrain tool, maybe a water tool, you could even do like a little moat.
Yeah,
you could do a
that'd be
little
perfect.
watchtower thing, like.
And I kind of.
And this was the first building you built.
It was the very first thing I built. But I got a little bit lazy here, and I kind of just...
I like this. This is good.
I just kind of tried to make a floor with the path, and it doesn't really work.
Yeah.
But
I actually don't know, because in previous games there were tiles for the floor, because it was on a grid-based system.
There must be something you can do with that. We didn't get a chance to look at everything. There must be something in the building section which you can use. Yeah. Or maybe in paths. Maybe you can snap it all together like you could before.
Yeah, honestly, these ones down here. Oh, anyway, we're talking, but you can see like the amount of props and things to play with that there were. There was so
this
many
is
things.
alpha. They're working on more. I asked like how many kind of static carnival rides, which are the ones available at the moment. They're going to try to release.
Do you remember the number?
I think you said there's 11 at the moment or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 or 5 more due to be released by the time the alpha comes out, and they're going to work on basically as many as possible before the release of the game.
Yeah.
So there could be
More.
20, 25 by the time the game comes out.
And then you can do like coasters and stuff as well. So
Yeah.
it's a good amount. I don't know how many Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 launched with, but you know the detail of some of these. Oh, look how huge that thing is.
This is my favourite ride. We didn't really get to see it work, but because we were kind of getting rushed along just before like like all the guests started to go onto it.
Yeah.
I really wish I could have seen a cycle of the ride work, but yeah, like just the sheer scale of that one ride was pretty awesome.
This game does look really good, and this is actually quite nice because you actually did a little get to build in daylight. But look, you're nailing this ticket booth thing. It's just
it like made sense to me.
Yeah.
Like I understood it.
Yeah. But you're right. It might have been because you. Oh yeah.
That was a little bit buggy.
That's like the first bug that we saw in this playthrough, like actual bug. Like that was a generic bug right there.
Yeah.
Where it bugged underground, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So I will say, vote on your favorite side in the comments. Did George win with his castle and his cannons? I actually think your castle's pretty good, man. Or did I do it with the pirate ship and my fumbling around with baths?
I think yours looks better overall with like all the scenery and the trees. It looks a lot more organic. But if I'd had a little bit more time to like put trees and stuff down, and if I'd thought about it,
yeah.
This is
cool.
a
really good close up of
that girl. She's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was all the rides have cameras, and I was kind of looking at this, kind of hoping I was going to get to see it work, but I didn't get a chance to see it
because no pedestrians were over there. That's cool. But yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. I'm really hyped for the alpha. George and I are both going to do videos, so make sure you subscribe to both of us for Planet Coaster videos, because he's going to do a let's play, or like I don't know if you're going to. I'm not going to commit you to a let's play.
I might do a let's play.
But you'll do like an alpha video commentary thing, and I'll definitely do one on my channel. But we went to London, we had some early access, and this is just us talking through our experience of our alpha first impressions. So yeah. Thank you for being here, George.
That's all right. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for coming to London with us.
That was fun too.
Yeah. See you guys next time.
Bye, guys. Take care.